Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on air again. I would say there was no plan on my part to do anything like this today, but something happened that made it necessary for me to come back on air. A brother I have a lot of respect for, Alison Ajeluchukwu, made a post and got my attention. He wrote about the burial practices of the Igbo people at the present time. He complained that what has taken place, what has replaced the Igbo mourning practice that goes by the name Akwamozu is this committee, that committee, this committee, that committee. I dashed him because, as I said, I have respect for him. He doesn't do what I am doing. I wouldn't say he even supports essentially what I'm doing, but he doesn't oppose it. And that is fine by my book. I dashed in and told him that the Israelite Omenana, I made sure to stress the Israelite. And that is why I was clear that he doesn't support what I'm doing. And he doesn't oppose it. He doesn't support my exposition of the Israelite component of Igbo history and culture and religion, but he doesn't oppose it. So I felt I should intervene by drawing his attention to that, so that possibly he will start asking questions. My question, framed in my response, was, you are not even concerned that presently Igbos don't bury their dead out of sight. What they do is deposit the bodies of their dead in filthy mortuaries, where these bodies are disrespected, desecrated, and worse. Meanwhile, the Igbos know what they should do, but they choose not to do it. The Igbos say, "Nwanne ozu na-awụ ozu ahụ." What this means is that it is the kin, the brother, the sister of the deceased, of the dead, that takes care of the body of the dead. Igbos don't do this today. Igbos have grown wealthy, so they subcontract that final act of kindness to their own, to strangers. And the strangers desecrate, disrespect the body. They see the nakedness of the dead of the Igbo. I said, you didn't even bother about that. You are only talking about committees. The Igbo funeral traditionally is a family affair. And I mentioned the Israelites so that this brother will sit up. Abraham, who came from Uru of the Chaldeans, Remilon, came from Uru Okwe, told the children of Heth, the sons of Heth, give me some land so that I'll bury my dead out of my sight. And Mount Sarah, it was a family affair. Abraham did not constitute any kind of committee to bury Sarah. A brother that I discovered today and that I grew to respect came in and said, we have our Omenana, and the Israelites have their own Omenana. I grew angry. Because I grew angry whenever I see an Igbo expressing any kind of doubt about our Israelite ancestry. And I responded harshly. But this brother did not respond kindly to my harshness. And then I began to think. I said, Remy, you have to exercise more patience with the Igbo people. Colonialism happened. A generation grew without being taught about this. Michael Okpara, Nnamdi Azikiwe, even though they passed through criminal colonization too, but they were closer to the generation that knew what the term Igbo means firsthand. I mean, our ancestors, our grandparents. I had to call up Francis Duru and make it clear to him that our grandparents were not in doubt that they were Hebrews, that they came from Israel. The generation that began to have doubts, or the members of the generation that went to school that began to have doubts because the colonial education not only does not teach this, but the Christianity they planted does not teach it too. And if the Igbo man does not read in a book, he studies medicine in a book, he studies law in a book, if he does not study that he came from Israel in a book, why are you blaming him that he has doubts? After all, they suffered genocide, but they agreed with the rest of the world that it is civil war, because that is what the rest of the world calls it. You are not going to be different from the rest of the world. You go to school, the school teaches you that you are not an Israelite, that you are a Gentile. You go to your church, it teaches you the same. You mean? I said, Remy, take it easy with Igbos. They are good people. Up to 80% of them are extremely good people. If you are patient with them, they will do the right things. This is what brought me on air today, and I decided to relay it to you. If you get this from Amazon, you are empowering me to make one available to Igbos in Nigeria. If I listen, Ajuluchukwu, and this brother I referred to, Ejike, had read this book, they would spread the message far more than I'm doing. They would share with the whole world that Igbos are Israelites, that what Igbos have is actually Israelite Omenana, but they have not read it. And I want to continue making this book and others like it available to the general Igbo population. If you go to Amazon and purchase it, or any of my other 17 books on Amazon, you are empowering me to do this. And by the way, Igbos will not recover until Igbos begin to structure their lives, to restructure their lives with Israelite Omenana. The strongest group of Africans in the world today are the African Americans. They have caught the importance of this message. Up to 20% or more of them came directly from Igbo stock. They are learning, they are studying fast, and the rest who may not be Igbos are related by blood and culture to those who are Igbos. And by the way, their basic culture as Westerners is in line with the basic social customs of Omenana, democracy. They are Americans. They are forced in democracy. They are forced in egalitarianism. So, studying Omenana is a win-win situation for them, because they will simply use Omenana to strengthen what they have already. And here I stop. Thank you.